if you've been living under a rock, Notre Dame's had quite the off season. Obviously, just dating way back to January to, the hiring of Marcus Freeman, to hitting the ground running with recruiting, some turnover in the, in the coaching staff in terms of, who the assistant coaches were. And obviously the big thing that is, like I say, if you've been living under a rock, Notre Dame recruiting has, really not missed a beat. In fact, I wouldn't say it hasn't missed a beat. I would say it really started running a lot faster when Marcus Freeman took over. To me, one thing that I want to real quickly, since it's been a long time since I've gotten behind the microphone, it seems like it's, I think often about the difference between Marcus Freeman and Brian Kelly and their recruiting styles, and the way that, Notre Dame recruits and has been recruiting since Marcus Freeman became the head guy. And we're going to talk about a particular recruit or two today. And it really comes down to this for me, in terms of the difference between, what Notre Dame has been doing over the course of the last 12 years or so versus what they've been able to do, this recruiting period. To me, the biggest difference, Brian Kelly as the recruiter that, he put a lot of emphasis on his assistant coaches. He got his assistant coaches to go out there and recruit and do those things. And he kind of managed things as a CEO, pretty much decided, we're not even going to waste our time doing, recruiting certain guys because they don't necessarily fit the Notre Dame mold, or, they're not going to choose us because they're going to end up choosing Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia or an SEC type of a team. Marcus Freeman doesn't seem to have those preconceived notions that Brian Kelly does. And not only that, does Marcus Freeman, he leaves no stone unturned when it comes to Notre Dame football recruiting. And I think that's that idea that we're going to go after everybody. We're going to, I want all the dudes. There was a question at some point during this particular offseason when CJ Carr committed to Notre Dame, whether Notre Dame was going to continue to go after Dante Moore. And this is going to be something that I'm going to talk about here in a hot second. But, in terms of answering that particular question, yes, Notre Dame was going to continue to go after Dante Moore. Obviously, like I'm going to talk about here in a few seconds, that didn't work out particularly well. Dante Moore obviously ended up going elsewhere. However, my point is that, Brian Kelly was the type of guy that, he was selecting, he had the idea that we are only shopping in certain aisles at the grocery store. To now it seems like the whole grocery store is, verging on the clearance rack for Marcus Freeman. He's going through every aisle. He's leaving no stone unturned. He's going after guys that I don't even think Brian Kelly would bother going after. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at the end of the day, you've seen the fruits of that labor with Marcus Freeman and his recruiting style. These are just a few things that I've been talking about lately that, on my Twitter, as I've kind of conversed with Notre Dame football fans. So, like I say, the recruiting style is different from Marcus Freeman, and obviously Notre Dame is seeing the benefits of that.